from college, from graduation, and you are now looking for a job. You decide to look for a job. So you don't randomly choose any company and right away start applying resumes in that company. You first need to understand the market scenario. If your skill sets that you learned in your engineering, do they align with the market requirements or the industry requirements? So for that case, you first need to understand the industry ecosystem, how it is structured. So first I will take you through industry ecosystem. Here you can see this infographic. So I will typically take here example of automotive industry because it is a globalized industry and many people are aware about it. So the automotive industry primarily revolves around three primary layers of suppliers, that is OEM or original equipment manufacturers, tier 1 and tier 2. Again, there is third level which we can call service providers or tier 3 companies. Now let me explain you each and everything in detail. So if you are wondering why I'm starting with this, you will understand it in later slides when we start to with our strategies later. So you will get the link why I'm explaining this to you. This will help us understand the market scenario. So no OEM. Let me first tell you OEM or original equipment manufacturers. They manufacture a product inside, or they assemble the product inside their facility and they launch it or they sell it. So no OEM in the world, no any OEM manufactures the whole product or say for example whole car in their facility. They will outsource some of the sub-components to tier 1 or tier 2 suppliers. Say for example, there is one OEM called Ford. So Ford will initially design and manufacture some core component in vehicle like engine assembly or powertrain, and they will outsource other remaining parts from tier 1 and tier 2 like door trims, bumper, wheels, or dashboard of the car. So they will outsource these parts. So why do they outsource? That point I will come later. But so tier 1 again, when they manufacture a door trim, we will take an example of door trim. So when they manufacture a door trim, they will again outsource some of the parts like door seal or glass shield from tier 2 suppliers. And recent years, means in some few years ago, OEMs and tier 1 companies, they used to outsource only essential tasks like logistics, planning, manpower, or management. But very recently, OEMs have even started outsourcing design services, even R&D and engineering services. So again, tier 1 company, when they are manufacturing their door, they need to know if their door will withstand so and so amount of loads, whether it will perform well in the physical test. So for that purpose, they need to validate their design. So again, they will outsource their design or CAE services to tier 2 companies or service provider companies. So here tier 2 and service provider, as you can see, they have a good opportunity to provide their expertise, provide their support, engineering support to tier 1 and OEM companies. So now that we have, I hope you have understood this tree, this pyramid about how the industry operates from supplier point of view. So I would like to ask you if anyone in the session, any guesses that do you have any idea why do companies outsource? Why OEMs or tier 1s outsource their services? Why don't they do it in-house? Any guesses?
Guys, be interactive. Open your video and answer the questions now. It will be more engaging and interactive so that you can learn more.
Hello, I'm Narayan. I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So the reason why the companies are outsourcing from tier 1 is like they can save more time than in the R&D itself. Like for example, for considering manufacturing all the components, instead they will focus on any particular thing which is related to company specific. Other things they may outside from OEMs, sorry, like tier 1 companies. Even though from their outsourcing, they will do some specific R&D or they have some specific request to that tier 1 company. So based on their request, the tier 1 company will provide. So it basically saves the cost of the R&D, also the time consuming also.
Yes, correct. You have answered it correct. So there are basically three major reasons why companies are outsourcing. So the first is it provides access to a global talent pool. Say, for example, a businessman in India wants to set up his plant about on EV manufacturing, EV electric vehicles. So he will all set up and plant and all, but he lacks the expertise or the manpower expertise in assembly line. So he will search all over the world with his contacts or any connections, and he comes to know that good labor is available in Dubai. So he will outsource that as a service to Dubai laborers who are good in assembly line production. So that's how we will do. And similarly, not only labor, it provide global talent pool, means say some countries are good at providing CAE analysis services. Some are expert in NVH services. So companies can outsource their services directly to them. So why they do this? Because it is cost effective, as Naren told it. So the businessman in India, he cannot hire the Dubai workers for as a full-time employee, because it will not be profitable for him. What will be profitable is to outsource that services so that he can save a lot of cost. The third major reason is it helps them focus on core competencies. Now here I will take example of Tesla Motors, Tesla company. Their main product is electric vehicles. So say for instance, they came across a technology which can reduce their fuel consumption or electric power consumption by 50%. So they need to implement this technology in all their vehicles and launch them. So they will, what they will do, they will move that their existing manpower to, they will shift their existing power to developing this technology and implementing it in their vehicles. So that manpower which was initially working on routine tasks, those routine tasks will be outsourced to tier 1, tier 2, or even service provider companies. So it helps them focus on core competencies. That's the point. The fourth major benefit they get is speed and scalability. If customers of some companies, say Tata Group, the customers started demanding more and more cars. They means the demand grew in the market for Tata Motor cars. So the Tata Motors need to produce their vehicles in bulk. So outsourcing some of the non-essential services allows them to produce in bulk and even scale their company. So these are the four major reasons. I hope you have understood all of them. Naren actually clarified it, most of the points from this. So now we will go to basic framework for freshers. So in the first slide, as we saw, the tier 3 and service provider, they have a good opportunity or good chance to provide their expertise or give their support to OEMs and tier 1 companies, or OEMs can outsource their manpower from service providing companies, or even they can outsource their services like CAE analysis. So when a fresher is passed out from as a graduate, he can target these companies, that is service provider companies, because there is a lot of exposure from automotive domain. He can get a chance to work on NVH, either crash and safety analysis, durability analysis, whatever analysis occurs in automotive domain. So he has a good chance. So what strategy he can implement here is he can make a list of all the service provider companies in his hometown. Maybe say he want to work in a company which is close to his home. So he can list out all those service provider companies. After that, he can start connecting with professionals who are working in that industries through LinkedIn or some through website links, etc. So once it starts interacting with them, he will get to know, or he can basically increase his chances of getting a job in those companies, or he can continuously take a follow-up with those people for any relevant opportunities. So that's why I had explained this tree to you. So this is the basic framework for freshers, which I'm currently seeing right now in the market around me, and what my friends are doing, what currently passing out engineers, they can approach with this framework. That is, first is approach service provider companies, then gain experience and knowledge, that is work for say 1 or 2 years until they gain some experience in a particular domain in that industry, service provider industry. And once they get the experience, they can transition to tier 1 or OEM companies. It is a very exceptional case. If you are passed out from IIT or NITs or some well-reputed college, then actually you can get an opportunity to directly work in OEMs or tier 1 companies, because such companies, they recruit from campus interviews from such NITs and IITs. So, but it is an exceptional case. Even if you are not an IITian, you can follow this path. That is, service provider companies work there for 1 or 2 years and transition to tier 1 or OEMs. While working in service provider companies, many of them even send their employees on site to MNCs or OEMs. So in that way, they have also good opportunity of getting an exposure or of what is happening in the OEM, how the workflow happens, how the process takes place, how to interact with customers and all, etc. So if he gains that exposure for say 1 or 2 years, it will be much beneficial. And again, he will increase his chances of working for an OEM, because OEM will prefer such people who already have such experience. So